Hello students, welcome to your science channel again. So this is the fourth part of the video, that is the chapter, that is unit and measurement. So previous day we discussed about some significant digits and the rules of significant digits, and we have calculated some digits of some numbers. So I have given you some homeworks, so let's see what will be the answer of those. So here you can see the 6.2930. So here the non-zero terms will be significant, and this 0 will be trailing 0, but it is after a decimal point, so it will be also significant. So here significant numbers are 5, right? And here you can see this one will be 6. Okay, so here you can see these zeros are non-significant because it is less than 1, the number is less than 1, and these are the terminal zeros, so these zeros are non-significant, and these all zeros are significant. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6, here the number of significant digit will be 6. Here is 4, and here what will be the answer? See, this is a trailing 0, but here there is no decimal point, right? So this 0 will be insignificant, so here the significant number is only 2. Okay, hope you will understand. Let's see the another example, another homeworks. So these are the homeworks, that means we have to calculate those numbers in terms of significant digits. So as you can see that these numbers, when you calculate, the actual values come, that is by this way. So here it is written that for the multiplication and division, 3.52 has the least significant digit, right? This between these numbers, this number has only the least significant digits, that is 3, 1 2 3, but it has 4 significant digit, and it has also 4 significant digits. So the answer will be 3 significant digits. So the answer comes like 2.00147 when you calculate it. So it comes like this. So the answer should be 3 significant digits. So how to do that? So you have to round off up to 3. So the answer comes 2.00, because a 2 is the first significant, 0 is the second, this 0 is the third, and the next one is 1. So as it is less than 5, so after rounding off it will be same. So it comes 2.00. Let's see another. 3.9 into 10 to the power 5 and minus 2.5 into 10 to the power 4. So here the powers are different, so you cannot subtract by this way. So you have to minimize this power. So I have divided 10 into 10 to the power 4, and multiplying this 10, you get 39 into 10 to the power 4, and here 2.5 into 10 to the power 4. Now both the powers are same, so you can now subtract from 39 to 2.5, it comes 36.5 into 10 to the power 4. But here is a problem. As you can see that this number has 2 significant digits, right? Or you can say that this number has one decimal point, one decimal number after the decimal point, and here is also one decimal number after a decimal point. So this is the formula of subtraction. So the answer should be one decimal. The answer should be with the one decimal digits after a decimal point. So here you can see that yes, it is one decimal number after, that is after the decimal point, but this may confuse you, so you have to convert it into scientific notation. Okay, for any type of confusion you have to convert it into scientific notation. So the when you convert it into scientific notation, see, scientific notation is like that: a into 10 to the power b. So a should be less than 10 and greater than 1, right? This is the condition. So here 36, if this is a, so 36 should be less than 1, so we have to convert it 3.6. Sorry, greater than 1. So greater than 1 and less than 10. So 36 is greater than 10. So we have to convert it into 3.65. So the powers will be 4, not 5. So now you can see that there is 2 decimal numbers after the decimal point. So we have to convert into 1 decimal numbers. So round off this value. So it comes 3.6 into 10 to the power 5. So this will be the right answer. Okay. Let's see the third one. So here it is written that the question is, we have to write the dimension of mass in terms of force, velocity, and time. So here the force, velocity, and time is the fundamental quantities. Okay, so the dimension of mass is we have to write in terms of force, velocity, and time. So how to do this? So here I have taken that mass is depends on force, velocity, and time, and up to some extent, right? Force, suppose the mass is depends on force to the power x, v to the power y, and t to the power z. We don't know the values of x, y, z, so we have to calculate the values of x, y, z, right? So when we take out this proportionality sign, so we have to put the equal sign and we have to give some constant. So proportionality constant. So this constant should be dimensionless. Okay. So here, if you write in the dimensional terms, so m should be written as m fundamental. That is, we know that m. F, what is the dimension of f? M L t to the power minus 2. And what is the dimension of velocity? That is L t to the power minus 1. And what is the dimension of t? That is t. So in terms of MLT, if we write that, so M1 L0 T0, as you know that here is only one term. So m to the power x, what is the value comes? That m only here it is one term. So m to the power x, L to the power x plus L to the power y, right? T to the power minus 2x, t to the plus minus y plus z. So minus 2x minus y minus z. Okay. Let's compare the powers of MLT. So here you see, here the power of m is x and here it is 1. So x should be 1, x should be 1. X plus y is 0. So x plus y is 0. 1 minus 2x minus y plus z is equal to 0. 0, 0. So the value of y comes, that is minus 1, and the value of z comes, that is plus 1. So if we put these three values into that equation, so we get m is f1, v1, v minus 1, t to the power 1. So the dimension of mass is f v to the power minus 1 t. Okay. So this is a very important question. It comes in, it has come into the JEE. Okay, JEE main or JEE advanced. So it has come. So let's see today's lesson, that is concept of errors. So as you know that nothing is perfect in the universe. Nothing is the perfect. So you are not perfect, me also not perfect, and any experiment we are doing are not perfect. It has an error, right? So as you know that physics is based on theory and as well as the experiment. So when we approve the theory, when just the experiment shows the result of it, at that time we approve the theory or the principles, right? So the errors, what is the error? Now you know that. So the theory of error, that is every observer performing an experiment is careless. Every observer who performing an experiment is careless to some extent and is thus liable to commit mistake. And the second theory is that every instrument used in the experiment is defective to some extent. Hence, the observation made with the instrument has got some inherent error. Okay, so these are the two theory of errors. So let's see what is the mistakes. Mistakes can be happen by the experimenter only. Mistakes, and the error can be instrumental or can be experimenter. Okay, so these are the mistake and error. Suppose you are measuring. Let's see. Suppose you are measuring as a object, the length of a object, and as you can see, if this is a scale, okay. So let's zoom it. Okay. So as you can see that this term is in between this one and this one, right? This is 2.12, 2.2 and 2.3. It is lies between 2.1, 2.2 and 2.3. So the value of the object is in between 2.2 and 2.3. We cannot measure the actual that is actual length of that of object. So this error is called that is least count error. Okay, least count error. So let's see what is the least count. What is mean by least count? Least means small and count means that you can measure. So the small value which you can measure by an instrument is called least count. The small value. So in the normal scale, you can measure the small value as this one. That means 1 millimeter, right? You can measure up to 1 millimeter. That means your value will be 11.1 centimeter or 12.3 centimeters, like that. So you can measure up to 1 digit after the decimal point by a ruler scale. But this is the actually least count of ruler scale. Okay. So let's see what is the least count of ruler scale. So the least count of ruler scale is 0.1 centimeter. You can measure up to this. The least count of vernier calipers is 0.01 centimeter. That means it can count up to 2 digits after decimal point. Okay, and the least count of screw gauge is 0.001 centimeter. So this is the now comes the this is called the precisions. That means how much value after the decimal point you can measure by the that means instruments are more precise. Okay. Let's see the type of errors. So the first type is constant error. When the series of observations are in error, it is said to be constant error. That means when you do some experiment and the error comes continuously, that is called constant error. Suppose you measuring length and it is always come shorter than the actual value, so then it is called the constant errors. So what is called systematic error? A systematic error is one that always produces an error of the same sign. This is due to the known cause. This is due to the known cause. Okay, so systematic errors can be divided into some parts, that is instrumental errors. Instrumental errors means, suppose you have a stopwatch. Let's say an example, suppose you have a stopwatch. Okay, you have a watch. Okay, and you just counting the seconds. So stopwatch have this type of skills, right? Suppose the zero value, zero scale is not accurately with the with this second hand, it is not matching. So this is the called instrumental error. So it is always shorter, or that means more, it gives always less than actual value or more than actual value, right? So this is an instrumental error. You can fix it. Observational error. This is like parallax error. Suppose you are observing the value, suppose you are measuring some length of a object with a scale. So when you just see the scale reading perpendicularly, that time you get the actual result, but when you tilted your head, so you get a fault result. So this is the observational error. Or sometimes suppose you are measuring something on a table, the instrument is on the table. Okay, suppose you are measuring something here, the instrument is placed, and your friend or someone just hit the table by something, so the table is going to be shaken, and that is called some error can be occur, so that is called the observational error, or you can say that is called personal error. Personal error. So this error can be minimized by the by taking care. Okay, so the third one is error due to external causes. Suppose sometimes we are doing experiment in high temperature or high pressure, so the atmospheric pressure or temperature can be effect in the can uh, can give the effect of in the experiment. So this will be the external error. Okay, what is a random error? Random error can be by any cause. Suppose you are measuring something with a voltmeter or ammeter, and current is going to be fluctuate, or something going to be happen, so these are called random error. Okay, random error. Suppose you are doing experiment and something is happened, that means earthquake is going to be happen, so you this is not in your hand. The random error is not in your hand. But how to minimize this random error? You can minimize all those error, like instrumental error you can fix it. Observational error can be minimized by taking care, right? Constant error can be minimized by the by just measuring those experiment by another way. Okay, so how to minimize the random error? Random error. So random error can be minimized by taking lots of values for a experiment, and then then take average of it. Okay, so before that I will be going there, but before that we have to know what is true value. True value means what is the actual value of experiment. Suppose you are measuring as object, what is the actual value of the object? Suppose the actual value of the object is 20.39124 centimeter. This is the actual value, but you cannot measure with this value with a normal scale, right? You cannot get these numbers, these digits. You only get 20.3 or 20.4. So this is the true value. What is the accuracy? Accuracy means if you get the nearest number of the true value is called accuracy. Suppose you are measuring with a vernier calipers and you get 20 point that is 35. So this is the accurate value, because it is nearer value than the closest value, right? Let's see what is a precision. Precision is how much digit you get after the decimal point with an instrument is called precision value. Suppose you are measuring something, so it gets 2.2935. So here you can see the result comes with a 4 digit after the decimal points. That means the in which instrument you are using, it is very precise. Then it can measure after it can measure 4 digits after the decimal point. So it is the precise value. Okay. Hope you understand that what is true value accuracy and what is precision. So let's see how to minimize the random error. So we have just doing an experiment. Suppose we are measuring something object, and the value of the object after 5 times we are measuring that the object, that is 2.13, okay, 2.02 and 2.11 and 2.20 and 2.15. Okay, so we are taking that this one is a1, a2, a3, a4 and a5. So what is the true value? Suppose the true value is 2.13. Okay, so how to so we have to average those values. So how to do this? Just adding those values and divide by the number of observations, right? This is the so we are going to say this average value as a mean value. Okay, so it comes 2.122, and this is the true value. So it is called measured value, right? Measured value. So what will be the error? Error is actually the difference between true value and the average value. That means the measured value. True value and the measured value, if we the difference between true value and measured value is called the error. This is called absolute error. Okay, absolute error. So let's see what is the relative error. Relative error is the absolute error and the true value, that is the ratio of it. Ratio of absolute error and true value is called the relative error. So the relative error here comes, that is 0.0037 for this value. So as the true value is 2.13. Let's see what is the percentage error. Percentage error is the relative error into 100. So when we multiply the relative error into 100, it gives us the percentage of error. Okay, hope you all understand this one. Let's see the combination of errors. So when suppose we have to measure the area of a object. So the length is L and the breadth is B. Suppose a length has a error L plus minus L. Okay, this is the error. This is the error, and this is the actual value. So and the breadth has also plus minus error. Plus minus means suppose less than the actual error or more than the actual value. So when we just calculate the area, you know that the area formula is length into breadth. So this has error and this has also error. So the area will be with the error. So the error can be more than the value of the error of the length and breadth or lesser than. So how to calculate the that means combination of errors? Let's see. So error can be error of sum and subtract. We have to know the formulas. Error of multiplication and division, and error of power. So these are the these can be the combinations of error. So let's see first the sum and subtraction. What will be the how to calculate the errors in sum and subtraction? Suppose a value has a and a value as b. So a has a error delta a and b has a error delta b. So it can be written as a plus minus delta b, because this error can be lesser than the actual value or can be more than the actual this will be a, right? So a can be written as a plus minus delta a, or b can be written as a b plus minus delta b. This is called the error, and it can be more than the actual or less than the actual value. So when we add those values, suppose we have to calculate z, which is combination of a plus b. So if a has a error, b has a error, so z has to be a error, right? So how to calculate? Suppose z has a error is delta z. So we have to calculate this delta z. So we know z equals to a plus b, right? So how to write in the error form, that is a z plus minus delta z and a plus minus delta a plus b plus minus delta b, right? So z plus minus delta z equals to, we can write this a and b, a plus b, okay, and plus minus delta a plus minus delta b. So see, z equals to a plus b, we know that, so it can cancel out. So it is given that delta z equals to plus minus delta a plus minus delta b. So this is the value of delta z. So it the number of possibilities is plus delta a plus delta b. Okay, this is the one possibility, and another possibility is plus delta a minus delta b, right? Another possibility is minus delta a plus delta b, and another possibility is minus delta a and minus delta b. So these are the possibilities, right? So this is the maximum value and this is the smallest value. So the error is in between these two values. So we can write that is the error lies between plus minus, if we take this plus minus delta a plus delta b. So this is the error. So if you calculate by this way, you should calculate the z a minus b in your you can calculate the error in a b minus b sorry z equals to a minus b. So this will be the same value. So calculate the combination of a and b in terms of error and a minus b, z equals to a minus b. Calculate the error. Okay, this is your homework. So the value will be same, z equals to delta z equals to plus minus delta a plus delta b. The value will be same. Let's see the multiplication values, combination of multiplication. Suppose z equals to a into b. Okay, so in terms of in terms of that is error, we can write that z plus minus delta z, right? So if we write a in terms of plus minus delta a and b plus minus delta b, right? So multiply this 4, so it gets ab and plus minus a dot delta b plus minus b dot delta a and plus minus delta a dot delta b. Suppose this is equation 1 and it is equation 2. Now divide equation 2 by 1. So what do you get? What do you get? That is del z plus plus minus delta z by z, right? Equals to ab by ab plus minus a dot delta b by ab, right? Plus minus b dot delta a by a dot b, right? And plus minus delta a dot delta b by a dot b, right? So here it is comes, that is 1 plus minus delta z by z, right? And this will cancel. So 1 plus minus a cancel out. So it is delta b by delta b by b plus minus here also a. Here also a will be there. B cancel out. So delta a by a. And this one, these values, see, this is very small. This is error. This is also error. So this will be, the multiplication will be very small. And when we divide with the actual values, so this will be very big. So when the denominator is big and the numerator is very small, so the actual value is very, very small. So we can neglect this term. So if we cancel out the 1 and 1, so the value of delta z by z, it is gives us delta b by b plus minus, right? Plus minus and plus minus delta a by a. So you can write as plus minus delta a by a plus delta b by b. So this is the formula for the multiplication. Let's see what is the formula for division. So division, okay. Suppose a value has z equals to a by b. So a has a error, that is a plus minus delta a, and b has also a error, b plus minus delta b. So z also has a error, that is z plus minus delta z. So how to write it? Z plus minus delta z and a plus minus delta a by b plus minus delta b. So you can write it by this way: a plus minus delta a, b plus minus delta b inverse, right? You can write this way. Take common of that is first term, common the z from this side. So it gives us 1 plus minus delta z by z, right? Take a common a from this one. So it gives us, right, this one, and take a common b. So b will be with the inverse because the power is inverse. So if you take b, so it has 1 and it has b by b inverse. Okay. Now see, this is this can be written as a by b, right? And 1 plus minus delta a by a And this one, see, in the binomial expansion, you will learn that when a value 1 plus x and to the power n, okay, if this is a value, and if this x, if here is 1, okay, here is 1 and here is x, and x should be less than 1. If this condition applies, then we can write that 1 plus nx. Okay, the exponential can be uh, considered in at the prefix of the x. Okay, you will learn that in your mathematics in future. So you have to memorize these things, that if it is written that 1 plus x or 1 minus x, 1 plus x or 1 minus x, so the power comes in front of the x if the x is less than 1 and the first value is 1. So here is also, this is like c, this will the value is 1 and this value is less than 1 because the error is obviously lesser than the actual value, right? So these terms will be less than 1. So we can take this term in front of this. So minus 1, if we multiply plus minus, so it will same as plus minus. So 1 plus minus delta b by b, same. So the a by b is delta z is a by b, cancel out, z equals to a by b, we know that here z equals to a by b. So the value comes 1 plus minus delta z by z, okay, and 1 if we multiply this term, so it gives us delta z a by a, okay, plus delta b by b and plus delta a dot delta b by a dot b. Now this term will neglected and 1 will be cancelled out, so the term comes same as the multiplication, that is delta z equals to plus minus that is delta a by a plus delta b by b. So this is the formula, delta z by z, sorry, delta z by z. So this is the formula of the counting the error in terms of division. So let's see what will be the error in power. Suppose a value has z equals to a to the power x into b to the power y and c to the power r. Okay. So to calculate the error in terms of power, we have to take the logarithms on the both the side. So what is log? So you may know that what is log, but if you don't know that what is the formula of logarithms, so in physics you have to memorize these things, otherwise you cannot understand. You have to know the formulas of logarithm and derivation of the any mathematical term. So let's see, if you don't know, so I will write those formulas. So if you take log on both the side, this is log z and log a to the power x, b to the power y by c to the power r. So the formula of logarithm, that if log a dot b can be written as log a plus log b, and log a by b can be written as log a minus log b. Okay, if there is division, so it can be separated by a minus sign, and if it is multiplication, then it is can be separated by a plus sign. Okay, so here you can see this term is multiplication and this c is divided by this term, so the term will be log ax plus log by minus log c to the power r. Understood? Hope you will understand. Now another formula of log is, if something is power, suppose log a to the power x, so the power comes in front of the log. Okay, so here it is power, so x comes in front of the log, y also, and r also. Now we have to derive that is called, we have to differentiate. Now after differentiating, if we say, let's see what is the formulas of differentiating. If we differentiate log, okay, log, suppose log x, if we differentiate log x, it gives us the value that 1 by x, okay, and a value dx is come. Okay, so here see log z in the left hand side is log z, so the value comes 1 by z dz. Okay, and here it is x log x, so x does not matter here, x is a constant, so it gives a value 1 by a dA. It gives a value that is 1 plus y 1 by b db, and it is r 1 by c dc. So when we write in terms of that is error, so dz will be written as delta z. So delta z by z equals to x delta a by a, sorry, small a, and plus y delta b by b. Here it is minus sign, but in the error all is plus sign, so we have to write in plus sign. So delta c by c. Okay, as you can see that the powers, the exponential powers, exponential x y z comes in front of the errors. So this is the that is called relative error, right? This is the relative error. If we calculate the percentage error, so we have to multiply this term into 100. So the value comes that is x into del a by a into 100 plus y into del b by b into 100 and r into del c by c into 100. Okay, hope you will understand these combinations of error. Okay, that is numericals can come in your board exam or any competitive exam from this chapter. Let's say an example by which you can understand that a numerical is given that z equals to a square into b square, b cube, sorry. So a square into b cube, okay, and it is given that a has a percentage of error that is 1% and b has a percentage error of 2%. So what will be the percentage error of z? Okay, so we know the formula that is z by del z by z into 100 should be del a by a into 100 and to 3 into del b by b into 100, because we know the formula from this that is del z by z into 100 is equals to x into del a by a into 100 plus y into del b by, like that. So x, y, and r will be the powers of a. So here the power is 2 and 3. So I have written that 2 and 2 into del a by a into 100 and 3 into del b by b into 100. So this is the percentage error of a and this is the percentage error of b. So it is given that 1 and 2. So I have write that 2 is 2 and the percentage error is 1. So 2 into 1, and here the percentage error of b is 2. So I have written 3 into 2. So it comes a value that is 8%. So the percentage error of z is 8%. Okay, hope you will understand this numerical, and if you have any doubt regarding this chapter you can ask me personally. So this chapter up to this much. So thank you for watching this video, and if you have any doubt comment me. I will give some homework to you and you can do it, and you can send me the result of the homework through the comment box or through the WhatsApp message. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.